Hello everyone. This lesson is on strategy. We're going to make small plans in each position based on the advantages that we have in our position and the weaknesses that our opponent has in their position. So here, if we look at this position, we have the black king not castled, while white has castled, which means that we can use the e file to attack. We can also use both our bishops for our attack on black. So let's start. Here there are two continuations, and the simplest one, which is check, might not be the best one. Here, black might just move away. Okay, black is not castling, but we can have a better continuation in this position where we can gain material. Let's go back. Of course, here, if black doesn't move away and covers with the bishop, we have many good moves that win material. We can maybe just capture on g7. Playing queen g4 is a good move. Playing bishop a3 is a very good move. So here, let's go back. So on check, the king will move away, and black will be able to continue this game. Now, a better continuation for white in this position would be first to take away the f8 square from the king and to control the a3 f8 diagonal with our dark square bishop. Now, also with the light square bishop's pin, this position is very good for white, and white will win material in the coming moves no matter what. Let's see. Of course, if the bishop captures our rook, then we can just checkmate here with our queen from the e file. And okay, if the bishop blocks, we can just capture. And if the queen blocks, again, we capture, and that's checkmate. Let's go back. So capturing the rook is not a good move for black. What else could black try? Maybe just cover with a pawn, this a3 f8 diagonal. But then we can check, and now when the king moves away, we can capture the pawn. Of course, blocking with the bishop wasn't good because again we would capture and work on the pin. And so this is a very good position for white. Of course, if black pushes this pawn, we can capture that one as well, and we want checkmate from e8. Then if we go back to the initial position here, maybe we're not playing the obvious move, but we're playing first bishop a3 and then winning material. Let's see another position. Here, in this position, again, we need to create a plan. And it would be, there are very good moves here. For example, moving to the 7th rank with our rook would be good. But we can also notice that there is a weakness that white has. This pawn on a3 is on an open file, and we can try to win this pawn. So let's see, we can attack the pawn from the a file. The only way for white to defend it is to move the rook to a1. And now that there is a pin on the a file, we can simply capture the b pawn. We just want an extra pawn. Slowly but surely, we can win this game. Now, if we go back and we try another way to attack the a3 pawn and try to win it. Let's say if we move our rook first to attack the knight and then move it to c3 or a2. Let's see. The knight might move to d4 first, and then when we attack the pawn, the knight can move to b5, and white is not giving up any pawns in this position. Of course, black's position is slightly still better because our rook is more active, and white is just defending the f2 square, and the rook is not active. So of course, black has an advantage here, but capturing the pawn with by playing rook to a8 was the better option in this position. Okay, let's see another position. In this position, what are the advantages that we have? What are the good things in our position? We have first the f file for sure we can use to attack. We also have the pin that's on the h4 d8 diagonal that also we can use to put pressure on black. So here again, there are different moves that we should consider. Putting more pressure on the f6 knight, playing queen to f3 is not going to work so well because black might just block our pin and not lose any material. So let's go back. Here then, it's better if we capture the knight first and then move to f3, also taking advantage of the fact that black hasn't castled. Now we are attacking the bishop that's on f6 twice, and there's no way for black to defend it, and black will lose the bishop. Otherwise, if the black bishop moves away to g7 or any other square, we can just capture on f7 and checkmate. Let's see another position. Here in this position, we need to take advantage of the weakness in the back rank that black has. Also, the fact that these rooks, they're defending each other and it's not easy to move them. So let's see. Here, what we can do is try to take away all the moves from the black pieces and put black in a zugzwang where they're going to lose no matter what they play. Let's start with the bishop. We can start with a check, and the only move for black is to defend the check by blocking it from g8 with the rook. Now the bishop doesn't move, it's stuck on g8. And let's look at the rooks here. What are the moves that these rooks can play? Of course, the rook that's on g5 doesn't move because the king is attacking the rook on g4. So if black needs to move these rooks, to use these rooks, black needs to move the rook that's on g4 first, and then move the rook that's on g5. And moving the rook to let's say to h4 would be good, because then black might capture the pawn that's on h6, which is causing black some trouble. So what we can do is take away the moves from the g4 rook. Also, there is the capture here on g2. We can do that by pushing our pawn to g3 first. Now, this rook on g4 doesn't move, and if this rook doesn't move, it means that the rook on g5 doesn't move, because if the g5 rook moves, black is going to lose the g4 rook. And now what can black play? If the bishop doesn't move, the two rooks don't move, okay, black is just moving the pawns, but this means that we will have plenty of time to plan for a checkmate. Maybe just move our second rook to the d file and then just checkmate black slowly and take our time. Of course, black will have to give up maybe material to stop our attack, and this is winning for white. Let's see one more position. In this position, we need to decide what to do about the pawn that just moved to a6. We can surely capture, but then this will allow white to have a very active knight on c5, so we don't want that. Let's go back. Also, if we just leave the pawn on b7, white might capture first and then again move the knight on b5, which will be again good for white. So what we can play here is maybe take away the knight to c5 move by pushing the pawn to b6. Now, not only we're keeping the knight away from c5, but we're also now attacking the pawn that's on a6. The only way for white to defend this pawn would be pushing the pawn to b5. And now if we move our bishop to d7, we're also going to win the b5 pawn and be attacking the a6 pawn. So this continuation is best for black.